And welcome again. Today I want to share with you the second part of this coming Sunday's Gospel. It's a beautiful encounter between Jesus, the parents, and the kids, and the disciples. And I know it's a bit of a risky topic these days, but I still want to share it with you because I think it's well worthwhile. Jesus is across the River Jordan, in the land across the River Jordan from the city of Jericho. And he's just had a clash or an encounter with the Pharisees. And then the text tells us that people were bringing little children to him for him to lay his hands on them. And the disciples were turning them away. And Jesus, when he saw this, was indignant. And he said to the disciples, "Let the little children come to me. Do not turn them away. For it is to such as these that the kingdom of heaven belongs." And then he went on to say, the kingdom of heaven belongs to the little ones. And why I chose this text is because today I wonder why so many kids are going around with knives in their socks or in their belt or in their jacket. And I wonder, is it because of fear? Or maybe is it because of anger? Or could it be simply a lack of self-worth? And if it's one of these or all of them, I think it's probably because of lack of love. That they don't know they are loved, and therefore incapable of loving. And I do believe that all of us want to love and be loved, and to know that we are loved. And I suspect maybe so many of the youth today just don't perceive that they are loved. It doesn't register in the hurly-burly of today's life. And I want to share with you the experience that Father Bernie Lane and myself had recently when we shared with the kids, all the kids and all the teachers at the primary school, St. Vincent's, across the road here in Essendon. And we shared with them how two Columbans in Peru with whom we had worked and lived carry out this beautiful gesture of Jesus. Jesus who put his arms around the kids, who laid his hands on their heads and who gave them his blessing. Father Tony, when he arrived in Peru, could see how extreme poverty was affecting the kids. It was impeding their growth physically, socially, intellectually. And so he set up 3 centres. One was like a day centre where kids could come and meet in a safe and supervised context, where they could do their homework if they wanted to, where they could learn music or learn dance or simply socialise. And he was saying recently that approximately 1,200 kids come there each week. The other one was for kids who are victims of domestic violence, either directly or indirectly, and who require a safe place. And Tony has a centre for them too, where they also receive treatment for the trauma, the stress, the fear. And the third one is for kids who are getting behind in school. And probably, if there's nothing is done, will just stay behind and just not get on very much in life. So he has a centre where they can receive a year's intensive study, intensive teaching, intensive learning. And generally go back to school and be on par with the rest of the kids. The other fellow is Father Ed O'Connell. And his story is good because he set up a centre for women called Warmiwasi, which means women's hut or women's house. And it wasn't very long in functioning when the women were saying to him, "Father, look, we are more concerned about our kids than about ourselves. So we'd ask, could you do something for them as well?" So he channeled his energies into training the kids to read. He had reading groups, supervised by professionals. And these reading groups would gather, obviously, and they would read, they would learn to read, and they will learn to love reading, as well as socializing in a safe environment. And then secondly, he had the kids organized to relate with and work with the local civic authorities, the local municipality. And they would go there with a proposal for maybe an area to be cleared for football. And they would present the proposal and they would defend it. And quite frequently, that would be realised. The council would respond. And a third one was to get playing areas that were safe, where there weren't older kids trying to either intervene or bully or control the scene. And so these two fellas, Tony and Ed, heard very clearly the message of Jesus. It is for the likes of these that the kingdom of heaven belongs. And these kids need a response on the basis of the Christian faith. They need to love and be loved and to know that they are loved. And the kids in Father Tony's centres do know, and same with Father Ed. They know they're loved. And it's just like Jesus, who at least we know twice in the Gospels knew that he was loved. After his baptism, "You are my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased." And to the Transfiguration, the same thing. "You are my beloved Son." And so it's important that kids today, instead of carrying knives here or in the States carrying guns, can go around freely with a self-confidence, knowing that they are loved and worth loving. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. God bless.